Welcome to the Enva He Meant Company Music Podcast with your hosts KP and Ashton Thomas. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What's happening, world?
What's up, everybody?
I'm Ashton.
And I'm KP.
And this is the Enva He Meant Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
That's right, y'all know what it is. And we back coming at you with another episode. You know, it's just us this time. I know we've had a lot of guests, coming in and out, but you got it from us, just your host, Ashton and KP. The home team. That's right. So, and glad to be back. Glad to be doing this. So, we talking about collaborations.
Very important topic, collaboration in music versus, collaboration versus individualism, just kind of hitting on that because that's kind of been circling around the community from different conversations. And we want to kind of like tap in on that because, we have our own thoughts. So has the rise of independence accidentally weakened collaboration?
I mean, you can't go two ways with this. I don't think it has, weakened collaboration. I mean, mainly because just my personal opinion on it, music is not a competition. And so, definitely if an artist calls you and say they want to collab and they want to write and they want to co-produce something, I think it should definitely be done, putting their heads together. Two is better than one. Independent artistry can't weaken collaboration to me, because teamwork definitely makes the dream work. If anything, I want to see more of it, because there's a lot of collaborations that I wish would have happened from artists who are now deceased. So, I mean, but that's a different topic. So, but no, I don't think it has weakened collaboration at all. So.
Right. Okay. Well, because like the topic is like, modern artists, going back to a podcast episode that I saw with Tricky Stewart, and he was talking about collaboration basically like through the whole entire thing, not just like an artist featuring someone and that kind of collab, but collab like as in artist, producer, engineer, A&Rs, social media manager. And he was just saying, which I do agree with, everyone's wearing a billion and one hats, but nobody is an expertise at anything. And so you're trying to do all the things, but those aren't your fields of expertise basically.
Right.
And so it's just like, have we gotten away from just being able to collab with others in that area to make something legendary, to make something great, basically. And if you look at the history of like great artists like Whitney Houston, there was Whitney Houston with Babyface, there's Missy and Timbaland, there's Janet Jackson and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and collaboration, right? And so the question is now is like, are we making collaboration important still? Like how do we get back to making that important still? Because I know since COVID, which that was like a big thing, everyone had to separate. So you weren't in the same room anymore. Everyone was doing things from their homes on their laptops and things like that. And that, I think that kind of started the whole, like, what I'm saying, independent, I can do this on my own kind of like situation.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I guess, independent artists, I should say, I guess their number one worry and concern is, having to spend money. And I guess the way to get out of that is to learn all just the basic fundamentals of everything that you need to actually be an artist and, save all that bread in your pocket, which I don't necessarily agree with that. I think a lot of times, especially since, independent artistry is like the thing, like more prominent than it's ever been. And people should understand that, as an independent artist, you don't have a label backing you financially. I mean, with that understanding, I think people who have expertise in marketing and A&R and, production and songwriting, they should understand that, hey, this is an independent artist. They're putting their own bread up. I can help. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who will lend a helping hand if people just speak up and just say something. So for sure.
Yeah, I agree, because you know how passionate we are about independent artists. So like, yes, like especially independent, but like the overall scope. But as far independent artists, like we know most of them aren't choosing to do this alone. They just don't have the village to do it that they can afford. So there's that. But then there's two sides to every coin, because like with that, with collaboration, whether it's major or independent, you have a team of people being able to challenge you musically, critique what you've come out with. So it's like you do something that you think is fire, and if you don't have any team behind you, like, oh, this is fire because I said it's just fire, and nothing else to kind of like challenge that or to help maybe sharpen it or make it a bit better, versus like if you have an engineer, you have an executive producer, you have someone there to be like, oh, just tweak this a bit, or how about we add this here, take that out there. So I think there's that sensitive balance right there, right, where you have someone who can say, hey, this can make this better.
Much to that point. I mean, I'm not talking about anybody specifically when I say this. I'm just speaking in general. You do have artists who really can't take criticism. You do have artists who will get discouraged if they feel like somebody else won't like what they're putting out as much as the person putting it out there. So you do have that. I guess it's just a matter of being able to take criticism. Learning, because even Snoop Evans, he also said it. Learn to take criticism, learn to take critiques, and people will come to you. And and artists are insecure about their art. So, and I don't think they want another voice in their ear telling them, hey, they should do this or they should do that. Because also, much to that, a lot of people already editing and, rewriting songs and putting out, by the time that happens, it's a whole new song. So, I really don't know how to explain it, but I guess that would have to be one of the reasons why you really can't take the criticism or don't want people to say, hey, this. I guess people just want yes men at the end of the day. So
that's what I said. Who's saying no? Like nowadays,
man,
everybody's saying yes because they're saying yes to themselves. It's just such a sensitive topic, such a sensitive line or whatever. Independent artists, they aren't isolated by choice. Most times they're isolated by their budget. So then you get what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you're called to do something though, and you don't have the budget, you want to find a way to get it done. You just want to find a way to do it. So it's like, we don't have bad artists. We just have underdeveloped artists and underdeveloped records. And so that, I think, is for me where the collaboration point drives home, because it's like you can be a really good artist but just missing some key things that this person over here could help develop in you. But when you don't have anybody to collaborate with, or any kind of team around you at all, then you kind of like can miss out on something really big, right? So so that's kind of like what I would say. So Kehlani, she just dropped a brand new album, and all you're hearing is, I did this, I helped with that, I worked on that, I was a part of this record, I did makeup, I did hair, I did this shoot, that, this writing, this producing, this engineering, this mixing, this like it was so many people. You haven't heard that in so long. It was just so many people collaborating on this body of work, which, by the way, this Kehlani album is absolutely incredible. One of the most vulnerable, genuine, grown woman albums she's ever done. Just really, really great. Shout out to Kehlani for putting out an amazing body of work. And all the people who collaborated with her to make that album happen. So very good. Along with Tone Stith. Tone Stith just released his debut album, entitled The Edge, which, oh my God, you're talking about funky R&B, just so, oh my gosh. And his first #1 R&B single entitled Fly, amazing. Shout out to Aaron Camper, who also wrote and produced on that album. Come to Me, an amazing record on that album. So y'all go check that out. But like the collaboration between those two albums to me is the difference in the final product. With a lot of the other albums that have recently come out.
For sure.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see people collaborating, and to also drive to the point of when Modre was on our show. I love being able to draw from our past shows.
Yes.
The people who were on there. Modre actually hit on that point about bartering. Like, it is not always about money.
Right.
Listen, if
Oh,
I
yeah.
can do this thing and you can do that thing, then we can do that for each other. You do this for me and I'll hit you and do this for you. And sometimes that's how you got to get the work done.
Yeah, I'll say this, not to cut you off or anything, but Fred Hammond, he actually told a story when Mary Mary was coming out with their incredible album. He's featured on a song called "This Love" by Mary Mary, and then he actually had a conversation with Warren Campbell. They were in the studio, and they asked him to be a part of it and have that feature on the song. But then Fred was like, "Hey, but yeah, you got to reciprocate, hook me up." So Warren Campbell produced a track on the album that came out the same year of Fred's "Speak Those Things." I think what's the song called? "We Love Your Name" or "Holy" or something. But yeah, you hear Baby Dub in the track, so definitely. So yeah, bartering. That's in music. That's not new. So that's
Not at all, especially in gospel. Like,
yes, oh yeah,
yeah, you hear that a lot in gospel. But
speaking of
yes.
and we can go down the rabbit hole with that. You know, Thomas Whitfield, he was producing a lot of the Vanessa Bell Armstrong early stuff back in the day. You know, so yeah, we can go down the line. There's piles of them. We'll be here all night if we talk about that. So
Yeah, but like it was just very nice to see the collaboration happening in the last couple of albums that dropped, Tone Stith, Kehlani, and the different people. As you scroll, you'd be like, oh, I worked on this and I worked on that for Kehlani and I worked on this for Tone and and it was just like, you just put a big smile on your face, like, yes, like that is incredible. Like I think a lot of times it takes a village to create some mastery. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do everything on your own. If possible. And
you don't want to. I mean, even if you could, you definitely don't want to stress yourself out with all the work, because you'll get burned out, and then the next thing you know, you probably don't even have the passion to release this stuff because you realize how much work it takes to get it all done. And then, I mean, if you do, it takes you weeks, years to actually get it done, and then, you know, I mean, it's new to everybody else, but then I guess the momentum, the self momentum, you kind of lose along the way. So, yeah, if you can help it, you know, definitely, you know, outsource other people to do what you need to do. I know I'm learning that every day, like, not to really put so much pressure on myself or put so much work on myself just to do what I need to do. And so, for sure.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So, do you think you can tell the difference when music is made in community versus, you know, when it's not?
I mean, with some artists, you know, because I mean, on the flip side of that, you have people like Stevie Wonder who can, you know, sing, play, write, and all that. I mean, he's produced for others, but I guess Stevie Wonder, it takes a Stevie Wonder or a Prince to be able to do everything by themselves. Now, for everybody else, you definitely hear, you know, the strength in numbers when, you know, you have more people writing and producing. A lot of albums, I don't even know where to start, but I mean, even on some of the Michael Jackson stuff, you know, you had Rod Temperton, Quincy, you know, all these different writers and producers, and I mean, Michael Jackson, a writer and producer, a great writer and producer in his own right. He didn't do it all by himself, you know. Definitely, like we were just talking about the Thriller album and all the features and all the producers and writers he had on that.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's no mystery why that's the best selling album, even after, because I just saw something 42 years after the release of Thriller, it's back on the #1 charts, and that's not by accident.
Right.
So there's definitely strength in numbers. I could definitely tell, you know, how powerful an album is when you have more people, you know, putting their hand in it. How can I say this without sounding shady? I mean, you do have your core fan base who want to hear your original sound, but for a new, yeah, I'll put it this way: for a new listener, they're gonna want some reference of an artist that they already enjoy or a producer that they already enjoy with that same influence on your album. So I think as far as collaboration in that regard, it is necessary, and it will strengthen an album. To have that kind of diversity, and a loaded answer. But to answer your question, yes, I do hear the difference when you have more producers and writers and more collaborative efforts on a project. So
Yeah, just like a really good conversation to have. I know it's been going around the community, so I just wanted us to, we wanted to chime in on it because we are big on community, also
yes.
big on collaboration, all those things that we think are super important, while supporting everyone and giving grace to everyone who does not have the option to collaborate as they would like to as well, and still being able to put out incredible work.
For sure.
Yeah,
And,
so
well, I was going to say one, and I may have said this on a past episode. I'm going to say it again because what the heck? So what I would like to see is more mainstream artists on singing background on other projects. I would love to see that. I mean, just because, I mean, it's been happening because, you had Whitney Houston actually singing background for BB and CC back in the day with that. And then, I mean, it happens a lot in jazz. You'll have an artist like a recording artist who's a sideman on somebody else's, like Chick Corea. He was already putting out solo projects when he was playing with Miles Davis. Same for Herbie. Herbie had his own albums out while with Miles. John Coltrane, he was with Miles, and then he was still recording all his I want to see that in modern times. That would be so beautiful to see.
right, you don't see it that much. I know Tank still does it. I feel like he's never left his background bag, and I love that for him. You see him singing background for different artists still to this day, as accomplished as he is, and I love that. But you're right, yeah, like that would actually be really, really fire.
Man, just think, Leon Thomas playing guitar and singing background for somebody like Kevin Ross or Gene Noble, or vice versa, if we saw more of that. Or like you said, Kehlani, with all the collaborations she had on her album, her singing background for like a Jasmine Sullivan or something like that. That would be absolute, like, y'all just don't understand. I mean, just imagine if they go on tour, like ticket sales will be through the roof, but they gonna pay the money. They gonna pay it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm like, let's get to it,
Right? Yeah, that would be like super amazing. And I mean, and we know like great collaboration requires like a lot of trust and humility. To your point, with major artists singing background for other artists and major artists, like there's humility in that. You have to be humble and full of humility to do that. That's why we don't see it that much anymore. But like, there has to be a lot of trust, humility, accountability in that. Which is why, to my point, I really feel like A&Rs, they mattered so much. Like, bring A&Rs back. Like in my other life, y'all, I was an A&R. But like, yeah, like that's why they mattered so much. So, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I almost said something, but I can't.
Go ahead. So what?
No,
we can edit it.
I got to keep it in house because we
well,
not
tell
about
me.
Yeah, we not about throwing shade here. Like because you said the humility aspect has to be there, and
yeah,
I'll just say that with people that I've worked with personally, who I've tried to collaborate with, like even in a group setting, just big eyes and little U's. And before you know it, the whole thing comes crashing down. So definitely, in a group setting, you'll just have to humble yourself. But I mean, that's not hard. It's really not as hard as people are trying to make it out to be. So
yeah, that's a whole nother topic in itself. But we know that independence and isolation are not the same thing. And so that's important, right? So like, just hitting, because we like to drive home the independent part because that's who we serve to, that's who. So like doing everything yourself, being self-made, I don't need anybody is not the same as just not having the resources, right?
Right.
Like
Exactly.
that's like two totally different things. So yeah, like yeah, community economics, right? We need it, we want it. It works so well in music. Music is a collaborative effort. That's
It
what
is.
I
Yes.
would say.
Yes.
Like if you're in a band, any kind of group. I mean, even if you're not in a band, if you're just like when you hit them live stages, you need help.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a collaborative effort from the stage managers, lighting, everyone, the person who helps you get your water and transports you down to the venue. It's a collaborative effort between everyone. You can't do it all yourself. So,
Exactly. And then I'll even say, and I don't mean to keep driving one point home, but like I guess the money issue. But I'll even say this. I mean, when it's all said and done, being a musician, we're musicians, we're music lovers. I think at that point, artists need to get back to the why they fell in love with music in the first place. What made them want to be an artist and be creative. Because you'll never hear somebody say money drew me to want to do music. That's not the case at all. They heard a song, they saw somebody play, they heard somebody sing, they heard a song on the radio or a record that just moved them and then inspired them to do that. So, and you'll just have to make the investment. You'll just have to make the investment. You'll see a return on the investment, especially if people are rocking with it, and
yes.
dealing with somebody who's honest. They're not going to forget about you. They'll reciprocate, reciprocity. They'll take care of you for that. So just artists get back to the why, and then, and you should be able, not even be able, but you should believe in the product. Like you believe in the product, see the vision, see where that artist is going. And then, I mean, they might have a hit on their hands. So of course you want to be in on it,
Right,
so,
right.
so,
Yep.
I mean, but we're just giving you all, a motive to collaborate as much as you can.
Yes.
If you have homies who are doing music, don't compete with them. That is like so played, like, cause I'm as I think about it, I am seeing it more and more, just the competition, everybody just trying to, outdo the other. And it's not even, and you don't see that from mainstream artists at all. You see that from people who are just trying to make it, but little do they understand that's not the way to go. Like, I guess you see award shows and you see all the nominees and all that, I guess, but that's smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. I don't think, cause at the end of the day, these artists who are all going up against each other for awards, they don't have any malice in their heart against the next person. If anything, it's all love. Like, because at the end of the day, they all eating.
Yeah.
So
It's funny though, because I did see a clip today with Victoria Monet. She won 3 Grammys, I believe, on her last project. And she got so much criticism for that she ended up going to culinary school. Like, she took a break from music. Yeah, I know she was a chef. She went to culinary school and she was talking about that. Like, she was like, it was so many people like rooting for her at one point, and then once she won, it was so much of how'd you win that? Why'd you win that? Just so much criticism that, she ended up just like, okay, I need to like take a beat. And like, she went to culinary school and got her culinary degree. And these are the things that people are dealing with, major or unsigned, I believe. And it's hard. And so that's the thing is like, maybe the future of great music isn't like even bigger budgets. Maybe it's rebuilding creative community. Like,
yeah,
because I feel like if ever people feel like they're a part of something, how can you like even fix your face to kind of like hate, right? Like, does that kind of make sense? It
does, yes.
Yeah, like, just it's so much, like you said, so much big eyes and little U's instead of just like we're all kind of like in it for the same reason, right? To like, music is just like a healing source. It's a source. It's a life source, and like, I don't know. It's just like something to bring to people, like in a positive way, that collaboration just matters. It really does. I think to pour, you're pouring, but I think collaboration helps fill you back up, right? So it's just like, I feel like you need that. So hopefully, yeah, like this was a good conversation that's going around in a community. If anything, to like help us all think about it, like think about it in ways that are realistic for where you are in your musical journey, right? Because everyone is different, right? Everyone's at a different spot. So yeah, like we have homies like Chaz, who's like doing all her things on her own. You know what I'm saying? And then, we got people that I've been following and I've seen work from the ground up, like Kenyon Dixon, who, now he has a team. He's still independent, but he has a team. You get what I'm saying? So like everyone is at different spaces and places in their journeys of independence. So yeah, this was I really wanted to touch on this, and I'm glad that we did. So
yeah, this was a great conversation. It brought out a lot of thoughts out of me that I really didn't think about, but yeah, as the conversation progressed, it definitely got flowing on the subject matter. So yeah, this was definitely a great conversation, a necessary conversation. And if you're watching this, and I've already said it, I'll say it again. If you're watching this and you have homies, lend a helping hand, because they're probably not going to ask for the help, but if you reach out, they're gonna be relieved that you did. So believe me, I know that for sure. So
absolutely. So yes.
All right. This has been another episode of the Vehement Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts
for music enthusiasts.
That's right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace, everybody.